life takes its toll on all of us, and we end up in places where we don't mean to end up. And mine ended up with overuse of alcoholism, and it took its toll on us. And it also was the saving grace and brought us all together, and more love for each other. And so, in the story of the company, is that where I should go now?
Sure. Yes. Well, when so you were in college, you got your degree, you started working, I'm assuming,
Yes.
somewhere in
Yep.
that field, or were you like most college people who wind up doing something totally
No.
different?
Went straight into healthcare, worked in hospitals and nursing homes for about 15 years.
Okay, that makes sense. And then where did you start drinking more? And was it kind of related to, I mean, in healthcare is tough in general. I mean, my
It
heart goes
is.
out to all of them and so needed, but it's a tough industry.
It is. It's tough. I think just life circumstances in general kind of led me down that path. It became it's a very easy coping mechanism until it's not.
Right,
So,
right.
so yeah, I think probably life circumstances and in all aspects kind of led me there.
Did you have alcoholism in your family?
Yes. Yep.
Okay.
Runs deep. Yep.
Okay. So that was not unexpected, I guess. You were hoping it wouldn't be
Right.
your path, but probably not unexpected.
Right. Absolutely.
And if that's something you grew up learning that that's a coping mechanism, that would make sense also that you may turn to that.
Yes.
Okay.
For sure.
I
Yeah. Yeah.
think we got it. So then what happened where things started to turn around? So obviously things got bad. And then what happened?
Yeah. So in 2019, things got bad, and it also was the pivotal point for me and our family. And things kind of came to a head the winter of 2019, and that's where some change started happening in our lives. Career change, so to speak. But also we started kind of rediscovering ourselves and coming together as a family through projects, and tough times brought a bright outcome.
It was like leading into COVID, and so we kind of had to get creative in what we were doing. I remember doing all kinds of art projects during that time, and like painting and all sorts of stuff.
And you had to get much more cozy than you were normally because of COVID. That's right. I totally forgot that. So thanks, Kendall, for reminding us. I'm like, I tried to wipe it from my memory. I don't know.
Mhm.
So you had to, what was the turning point or pivot? Was it a gradual stopping, or was there like a smack in the face, I got to stop kind of thing?
Kind of both. It had been gradual for years, and um, that winter just became tough, and realized that family was being impacted more than I had realized. And so I decided to start my recovery path, and started going to AA, and um, finding out more about myself and spirituality, and that's when all that happened. And
Were you
yeah.
working at the time?
Yes. Yep.
Okay.
Healthcare.
And I was still in healthcare.
Uh-huh.
And there were a few things that happened, some legal issues and things like that, right?
Not legal. There there was nothing legal that happened. There was just kind of a downfall. With COVID came a loss of job.
Oh,
Right at
right.
that time, there was a loss of a job. There was family was disintegrating. It was tough to pay bills. Everything just kind of happened and fell apart all at once, as it does with um, any
Change.
alcoholic's life. Like, it all
Yeah.
crumbles. And it was
Well,
kind of
you
interesting.
had that, plus you had COVID, plus you had, uh, your family and losing a job at that time was tough in general. So.
It was tough. Yeah. And right at that time, I don't know if you want me to go into this, but right at that time, Kendall came home with a nomination to attend a STEM program, um, which was tough because she asked me, "Dad, can I go?" And I had to tell her basically, "No, I don't have." I mean, straight up, I don't have the money to fund that, and she was devastated. And so during that time, we started, trying to save uh, expenses, cutting off the heat and burning firewood. I got a ton of firewood for free. We started burning firewood in the stove, and I started saving the ash. I've always been fascinated with soap for decades. I love soap. I don't know why. I love soap.
So
And
that means you are very clean, at least.
I purchase soap everywhere I go, and I just love finding good soap. And so I'd always wanted to play with the idea of making soap and had read about it. And so with Kendall coming home, no job, trying to cut expenses,
and trying to get her into the STEM program.
trying to get her into the STEM program, I decided on Christmas Day in 2019, I got the kids together and I said, we opened presents and I said, we're going to make a batch of soap. So we ended up pulling a bunch of ash out of the fireplace and packed it into a ceramic planter, ran snow melt through it to extract the lye, and measured it with some pH strips and burned off some of the water and made this sludge and combined some fats with it and made our first batch of soap. And it did not turn out all that well. It did turn out as soap, but it just wasn't primo soap. And
right. What's the ash got to do with it?
So ash, historically, ash has been used for soap. It contains potassium hydroxide, which is lye or a base that you pull from it.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's awesome. You combine it with fats, which are acidic by nature. So it's an acid-base reaction that you combine fats and lye, and the byproduct is soap.
Okay. And so the lye, did that come from that, or did you have to buy some and add it?
No, it came from the ash. We pulled it out of the ash. Yeah.
Because I know you can, when you make soap, you have to buy lye and then it's this whole, I think, because I've not tried it. I was just like, oh, that seems like a lot of work. But I thought you had to be like, you couldn't get at that state before it becomes soap. You couldn't get it on your skin and you couldn't do, I mean, there's all kinds of things that it was like scary. I'm like, okay, no thanks. But after it's formed and it's in the soap process, obviously you can put it on your skin.
Right. Yep. You got it.
Okay.
Yeah. So we do buy our lye now. We can't burn enough. And plus it's such a, when you come up with a good recipe, everything needs to be measured down to the gram. So, and consistent with, So
is that if you did it in ash, is that kind of like when you try and get water from snow melting? You've got this big bucket, you fill it in there, and by the time it melts, you got like an inch.
Yep. Yep. It took a whole day to, Yep. That's how it is. Yep.
Okay. So you needed a lot more lye than you could make from the ash, or like years in general.
Yep. Right.
Gotcha. Okay, I'm on the same page. So you did that. The soap was soap. It was okay, but not something that you would give to the neighbors or something.
No, we tested it out. It worked. And I played with it a couple other times. And then right at that time was when Kendall came home, or we were playing with the idea of, can we make this happen? And so we had some friends saying we were getting better at soap making. And I had a friend say, like, why don't you just do a fundraising project with this soap? And I thought, who the heck is going to buy some shady garage soap? And so I decided, I talked to Kendall and we thought, like, why not go for it? Why not make some soap? And so we made a few hundred bars, and I looked at it and I thought, this is never going to sell. Like, who's going to buy this? And it sold, and we made more and it sold, and we made more and it sold. And so started gaining some momentum.
Is that still with the ash soap, or this is you moved on?
At that point we started buying commercial soap.
Okay.
Yeah.
Commercial lye.
Commercial lye. Yeah, right.
Yep. I got it. Okay, so did you make enough to send Kendall to STEM?
We did. doubled what we needed, and had some left over, and then had other friends prompting us to start a company. And it was terrifying. I looked at that and I thought, how in the world do you start a company? And I had some other friends saying, you just do it. Like, you just push the button on Department of Revenue website and then start a company. And so I did that. And then right at that time, I had been hooking up with Buckley's Homestead Supply. They are dear friends. Ed and Allison Buckley and their kids, they owned and operated Buckley's Homestead in Old Colorado City for a number of years, and they were helping us out with ordering some products at that time. And they had an employee who owns Roadrunner Books now, Roadrunner Bookstore. Tally is her name. She somehow knew Mike Calicrate, the owner of Ranch Foods Direct here in town, and said, hey, this guy needs a soap maker. And I thought, what in the world are you talking about? Like,
Right.
who needs a soap maker? Like, no one needs a soap maker. So I went and met with Mike, and he took a look at the product and he said, yep, I'll sell that. And the deal is, you got to start using our tallow. And so we formed a quick relationship with Ranch Foods Direct, and we use their tallow as the base of our soap. And so we believe strongly in community and getting out there and hooking up with other people. We buy our lye locally also, out of Boulder. So as many products as we can, we buy locally.
Okay. So what made you think, was it because of Ranch Food Direct, made you think of tallow, or were you already using tallow?
I was not using tallow, had not really even thought about using tallow, other than I thought, thousands of years ago, this is how it must have happened. Somebody had a hog and they had it on a pit, turning it, and fat was dripping off in the ash, and the soap had to have formed. That must be how it happened. But that's the only thought that had ever crossed my mind. But I was using palm oil at that point. And there's controversy with that, and I didn't know how I felt about it. But so it was a perfect lead.
Are you kidding? There's controversy with everything. You can't get around it, so it doesn't matter.
Right.
Okay, so tallow, tell us what tallow actually is.
Tallow is the rendered clarified fat from the beef manufacturing process, beef slaughtering process.
So it's only beef?
Tallow. Well, you can have other sources of tallow. There's deer tallow or bear tallow, but we only use beef.
Okay. And is it basically lard?
Yeah. It's the fat, the leftover nothing, the waste of packing is what it is. And so it's gold to us. And I know that, I think
how would he, if it's not used in soap, how would they get rid of it?
So throughout history, I mean, it's just been a byproduct. It's been discarded, and so considered waste. And so now people are starting to understand the benefit of it. So it's in skincare products and stuff, and so people are purchasing it. And so this was kind of the time where tallow became the in thing.
True.
So yeah, it was a perfect timing where tallow has been used as in cooking and for various things, but it in small amounts, and so it was discarded or considered waste for the most part. And so people are starting to utilize it now.
Right, and it's funny because I'm a vegetarian, so I don't.
Oh, are you okay?
So I don't eat it. However, there is benefits of it in general. And I think there's vitamins and
Right.
some other things in there. So me not eating animal products, I'm curious to know. I mean, it's soap. So you put it on, lather up, and you rinse it off. But there's always, I don't care what product you use, there's always residue that is on there. Some are cleaner residue and some are not. So I'm wondering, am I getting any benefit for putting it on my, as a soap on my skin? And as your background, maybe I don't know.
Yeah, there are some great benefits. Vitamin D being one of it. There's fat soluble vitamins that are packed in fat, and so with animals, they've got fat soluble vitamins A, D, E, K, and so those being packed in the fats. Vitamin D is one. It's pretty interesting being used as a skin product. There is some absorption that goes on through our skin with the nutrients that are in the tallow. And so the way that when soap is made, if you combine, we'll just say a 1-for-1 ratio of lye and tallow, or lye and fat, the new product is soap. So it goes through this process called saponification. So now you got this new product, soap, and it's not fat anymore and it's not lye anymore. But we do leave a percentage of our, most people do, but we leave a percentage of our soap fats unreacted by lye. And so we have free fatty acids that are in the soap. And so the conditioning properties and the vitamins that are in there play a huge role with skin health and moisturizing effect.